What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and we are back with another episode of me reacting to stuff from libs of TikTok Twitter. So, let's get into it. Alright, right out the gate, this first one says, Paul Bixler, a transgender board member of the Liberty Elementary School District in Arizona, was seen going inside a women's locker room in a gym. This woman alleges that Paul, a biological male, came into the locker room while she was undressed and stared at her bare chest. Yo, we gotta look at this.
I am at the gym.
Alright, let's read this. It says, my day at Esporta, a man made himself at home and saw me half naked in the women's locker room. Police made no arrests and no charges were filed. What?
In Arizona. He was undressing in the locker room. Top off. Bra off. And Paul Bixler.
And I think down here it says, women and girls are no longer safe. Facts.
Was in the women's locker room. And he looked at me. And he looked at my breasts. And I have called the police.
Until recently, he's used the men's locker room. So he agrees himself that he's a man.
I have told the police that I was in the locker room. A man was in there. I was getting undressed. He looked at me. He is a man in the women's locker room. And the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society.
Yep, there he goes.
What?
Women's locker room. There's the man going in the women's locker room.
And he's going back and they're not doing anything?
In there. Hope there's
Yo.
no naked women in there.
Yo, arrest the guy.
Why isn't anyone warning the women?
Just so everyone knows, he's not being arrested. We are at a point where we're catering to society instead of facts. This is alarming. Women's rights are being violated. And I'm not going to put up with it.
But Paul, if you're a female, why do you use the men's restroom sometimes and the women's restroom sometimes?
Because he's a pervert. Because he's a pervert.
Yes, politely, like I said.
He will suffer no consequences for this.
This is wild. This the stuff we be talking about when y'all be like, what was it, Destiny and Pearl just had their heated debate on valuetainment, and he was just like, oh, well, why are you guys so pressed about trans people using the women's bathroom? Because of people like this. That's not trans. Like, bro, you sitting there saying you trans, and then you go and do this. You're definitely not trans. You just want to see naked women, right? What else did we just see? The guy that he got placed in a women's prison because he's like, oh, I'm a female. I have to be amongst the female. Gets to women's prison. He got like 2 or 3 of them pregnant. That don't sound like something a girl could do to a girl. Come on now. We know why he wanted to go in there. It's not as hard as the male prisons, right? And you're around women all day. And he had multiple and then the police officer just like, it's a touchy subject, can't do anything. This is clown world right here. You know what's crazy? We're not even on clown world this week. We're on libs of TikTok. Once again, your friendly weekly reminder to homeschool your children. Why are these flags inside of your classroom? What does this have to do with learning? Nothing. Homeschool your children. Yo, look at this. LGBTQ activist admits the goal is to confuse straight people and instill chaos. I knew it. I knew it. We all knew it. Every time we know something, they're just like bigots, conspiracy theorists, yada, yada, yada. No, we all know what's happening.
Hey y'all. So recently walking to and fro from my job, I am now starting to get identified as femme presenting to the point where people call me ma'am, or people call me like miss, or things like that.
That's a whole lie. That's a whole lie. You just look like a fat guy. You capping. You cap. First off.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
And it's still wrong because I'm non-binary, but there's like a real fun, like chaotic part of that where I can respond in a way that makes them go, what? Because I'll intentionally like lower my voice and they'll be like, excuse me, ma'am, can you help me out with this? I'm like, yeah, what's up? And I think my
intentionally lower your voice is already Because you're a guy. What are you talking about? Like, I understand women have naturally deep voices. I got one. But I can't go down to be a guy like you just did.
Gender is the emotions of straight people being utterly confused. Like, I just want to instill chaos. And, like, that's my pronouns. That's my gender. That's my identity. That's my sexuality. It gives me all the euphoria to cause. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
So you just bored. That's all this is a game to them. Y'all have, and I had said this before, y'all have no real problems going on in your life. Nothing's going on, and you just admitted that. You are bored. And because you are bored, you want to just mess with people for no reason. It don't even make sense. Like, what's the point? I just want to cause effery. Why? Let me not ask questions that need, like, legit answers, because we not gonna get them. Yes, for those that don't know what's going on, so an article came out where it said the Black Lives Matter co-founder's cousin died because he was tased to death by the police. Now, when that first went out, and you hear that, the first thing you think of, especially as a black person, you just like, oh no, not another one. But see, I done left the plantation. So when the first videos and headlines were coming out, I was like, I'm gonna wait. I just want to see. I was like, that's kind of weird. The dude attached to the Black Lives Matter. I was like, first of all, what that got to do with him dying? You could just say, dude died or whatever if it was messed up. Why is it being attached to them? So I was like, I'm gonna wait till some more stuff comes out. As you guys can see, it turns out this guy actually was trying to steal a car, and the witnesses on scene pointed him out. They were like, that's the guy right there. But we'll read it together. It says, why did you leave out of your tweet that he caused a traffic accident after trying to steal a car? The previous 7 minutes of body cam showing the cops being cool to him before he resisted arrest and ran into the middle of traffic, and that he died of cardiac arrest 4 hours later. So if you guys actually see the original headlines that were coming out, they was trying to make it seem like he got tased so much he died right there on the scene, when in reality this dude was also on drugs, right? So they're trying to paint a feel-good story of why he died. The reality of it is that he died for doing dumb stuff he shouldn't have been doing. So when you look at this is one of the original titles. It says the LAPD tased a black man to death after he flagged them down for help. At one point he says they're trying to George Floyd me. Keenan Anderson was a dedicated father and high school teacher. That's the picture they're painting, and this is actually one of the original headlines I saw before I was like, nah, we about to see what's really going on with this. Then the true story came out with all the body cam footage showing what happened as soon as they got there, leading up to him getting tased and then them taking him away. But if you haven't seen it, I will play this. I'll play a little bit of this because due to the graphic nature of it. But we'll play a little bit of this.
Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over or I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Bitch. I can't. Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to George Floyd me. You're trying to George
Stop
Floyd
it.
me.
Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop resisting.
Please.
Stop resisting.
Please. Please. Please.
I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna tase him.
They're trying to kill me.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there. But that's the footage the left media put out with the headline. They're like, they just killed this innocent teacher. He was just trying to get help because he was in a car accident. When the real tweet is that he tried to steal a car, caused the accident, ran off. Turned out he was on drugs. They were literally, before it even got to that point, there's like I said, there's like 10 minutes of footage of them trying to like calmly subdue this guy, and he was not listening. He was running off, doing whatever he wanted to do. At some point, yeah, you kind of have to tase him, and then to die 4 hours later from cardiac arrest, yeah, your body is full of drugs and you just got shocked. At some point, yeah, it was gonna happen, but it didn't happen right there. They made it seem like dudes just kept tasing and tasing and tasing right on the scene, and he died on scene. And that's not what happened. But see, this is why you wait for facts and stuff to come out. You don't go off of feelings, you go off of facts. And that's how it should be. Y'all, this is kind of funny. So, lawmakers introduced Santos Act to punish candidates who lie about who they are. The bill, named for mega liar Representative George Santos, threatens jail time and fines for congressional hopefuls who knowingly lie on their resumes. Okay, now watch the next slide. Biden said he was a student at Delaware State University. School says otherwise. Biden had made the claim during October 2019 town hall event ahead of the South Carolina primary. There's some more footage of Biden up because today is Martin Luther King Day, and he did like a Martin Luther King speech. There's so many lies were throughout that speech. Oh, he definitely is. Now that y'all passed it, y'all did this. And don't get me wrong, okay? So like, Santos lied a lot. It's just like, sir, you just any little thing you could think of, you just ran with it. But he ain't the first, and he not gonna be the last. It's liars on both sides of the fence. So if they actually follow their own rule, man, a lot of them about to get locked up from both sides of the fence. Another pronoun episode. Non-binary elementary teacher shows lesson they use to teach students about pronouns, including A, M, and Z, zer pronouns, and what to do if you misgender someone. Here we go with the nonsense, but we'll play it. We'll play it.
So I have a lot of these comments, so I figured I'd jump in and show one of the mini lessons I do through the year around inclusivity. So I usually start with this book, which I absolutely love.
Hey, didn't we cover this? I think it was the one where I was like, this is gonna be the pronoun episode, because every little thing on the feed was like pronoun related.
It introduces a variety of pronouns as well as multiple pronouns that someone might use. There's also a great video on amaze.org that goes into pronouns and how to respect people's pronouns. All these lessons are done in our morning meeting or in our ELA time because they're connected with writing and with reading. And they hit all our standards. This year's chart is a little wonky, but all of these are from the students. The description and definition I help them with, but then the what to say and how to correct comes explicitly from them. And as you can see, it hangs up on our social justice wall right behind me. And then the infamous llamacorn and narwhal is what we move into. So we actually practice the sayings they came up with using the stuffed animals. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, something anyone can do in a morning meeting or during a block. So I have a lot of these.
Look, once again, this is your weekly reminder to homeschool your children, okay? I know we are in a time where some of you might be like, I can't homeschool my child. Me and my partner, we both have to work. One of us can't stay home. I got you. And I said this before. This needs to be a community-based thing, all right? Who is the stay-at-home housewife, or I guess nowadays, house husband in your community? Do you know them? Do you trust them? Are y'all friends? Okay, all y'all get together and be like, hey, since you stay home, can your house be the hub for all the children to learn at home? Because all the plans is through laptops and stuff anyways, right? Somebody just got to be home to facilitate that. Have all these kids, pack them their lunches and stuff like you would do at a regular school. Send them to this person's house. And when all y'all get together, maybe just split the utility bills with them. Because your kid's going to be using their electric, your kid's going to be using their water. Just do that. And then at 3 or 5 o'clock or whatever, right? Pack them with lunch, pack them with snacks, and just pick them up. All right, be nice to whoever does this. You know, like I said, go in with them on their utilities. If you want to, at the end of the month, all chip in to get them a nice big gift card for something. Do that if you have to, if all y'all got to go to work. There's ways to get around this and figure it out to homeschool your kids. But at the end of the day, take this as a reminder to homeschool your kids. Okay, on to the next thing. Well, this is just weird. Transgender activist fantasizes about how she can breastfeed babies. Huh? What? What are we talking about? She can breastfeed babies? You're never going to be able to breastfeed a baby.
Did you know trans women can breastfeed?
No, they can't. They can't.
This is great news because I always wanted to breastfeed, but I thought like my dry tits would give the kid an eating disorder. Kid just grows up and he's chronically sucking down the nozzles at Yogurtland, and I just have to be like, sorry, that one's my bad. Also, you might not know this about trans women. Our tits are really far apart. And I would have fun with that. I would just have a baby on each tit in the middle of a door jam and be like, look at her go. She can breastfeed 2 babies in 2 different rooms. It's Ripley's, believe it or not. Did you know trans women...
What? Did you know trans women could breastfeed? Y'all can't. Y'all men. Y'all can't breastfeed. The insanity. The fact... Look at this face on the screen. The fact that these are the people... A lot of society and businesses and all that is bowing down to be like, oh, you're right, I must listen to what you say. These people are crazy. This man just said a man can breastfeed. No, y'all cannot. They're like, no, y'all cannot. What is this? This is insane. This is a training from MUSC Health on talking to adolescents about gender. The doctor makes the parent leave the room so he can have a private conversation with the patient. Then the patient gets to decide if the parent can see their medical records. What? What you mean? See, we talked about this in another episode where somebody was trying to say that they were trying to make it to the point where parents would not have access to their children's digital records unless their children authorized them. First off, my child not about to authorize me to do anything. I'm the adult, okay? I'm about to have you... See, the government... For whatever sick reason, they're trying to separate the parent from the child. They want to raise your child. This is sick. First of all, what hospital is this? MUSC voted Charleston's hospital of choice a remarkable 15 years in a row. That gotta be a lie. That gotta be a lie. No, we about to pull this up real quick. Where are you? Charleston, South Carolina. Ooh. If you watching from Charleston, South Carolina, don't take your kids here. Don't take your kids here. No, we about to watch this training. This is a minute and 50 seconds. This is about to be the last thing we watch before I end this episode out.
I wanted to ask you a question. I'm asking all of my teenage patients this. I had your mother step out of the room because what we discuss here is confidential and private. But as your parent, she is able to look at your medical record for whatever we put on there. Okay? So what we discuss here, we can just talk about it. And there are certain parts that if you want me to just make note for myself, then I will make that note. But otherwise, it will be in your record. And if it's asked for, they will have access to that. So I want to ask you about your gender identity. Are you comfortable having that conversation right now?
Sure.
All right.
What?
Would you say that you identify as a boy, girl, transgender, or non-binary, or maybe some other gender?
Actually, I don't really identify as a boy or a girl. I know some people look at me and think I'm a boy, but it doesn't really bother me.
Awesome. I'm glad it doesn't bother you. That's really good. So for our system, I'm going to go ahead and put other, if that's okay with you, because I feel like from what you're telling me, being specific about girl, boy, transgender, or non-binary doesn't fit. Is other okay?
Yep.
All right. And we can have further conversation about your gender identity if you'd like, now or maybe at another time, but we can talk more about it to help you kind of navigate what that looks like for you.
Okay, that sounds great. It might be different the next time I come in to talk to you.
Awesome. Sounds good.
In this scene, the clinician did several things well. First, he politely asked the adolescent patient's parent to leave the room so he can have a private conversation with the patient. Second, he made sure the patient knew that although their conversation is confidential, any information in the medical record could be read by a parent. He also asked the patient for permission to put the information in the medical record. Finally, the clinician was supporting and affirming with the patient.
Yo, the fact, they are really trying to normalize this. And now they are getting like doctors and stuff into it slowly but surely. It's going to be harder to find a doctor that's not doing this crazy nonsense. It makes me scared to like even have like, just so we on the same page. I can't really, if I have a child, it's a miracle at this point, right? Straight miracle due to something that happened when I was younger. But if I'm somehow able to have a kid, or even adoption, because me and him done talked about adopting too when we get married, it makes it scared to do any of that. Because I don't want to take the kid to the doctor and now you're pushing me. I don't have rights if my kids say I don't have rights. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, the only time a doctor ever made my mom leave the room, right? I had to have been like 12 or 13. I forgot what was wrong with me, but the doctor asked my mom. The doctor asked me in front of my mom if I did drugs and alcohol, and I said no. And then they were like, "Are you having sex?" And I said no, because I wasn't, right? I wasn't that kid that was trying to be fast and be an adult. I literally was playing basketball, video games, and playing with Pokemon cards. That's literally what I was doing at that age, I promise you. And they asked my mom to leave and step out. So my mom goes to the hallway, they close the door, and then they were like, all right, your parents not in the room anymore. You can be comfortable with telling me, do you do any drugs or drink alcohol? And I was like, no. And they were like, you sure? You could tell me. I'm not going to tell your mom. And I was like, yeah, I am sure. I would know what I do. And they was like, all right, have you had sex? I was like, no, I'm still a virgin. And they was like, you could be honest with me. I was like, I'm still a virgin. I haven't had sex. And they were like, okay. They asked me a few other things. And they were like, all right, I'm going to go get the nurse to come back in. They went in the hallway, right? They left the door cracked, went straight to my mama and was like, okay, I figured I would ask them without you around if it made them more comfortable. But she said she didn't do those things, so I don't think she's out here having sex and drinking, because she even told me no. And I'm just listening through the crack. I was like, yo, you told me that was confidential. It still told my mama. But now that I'm an adult, I get why they told my mama. My mom had the right to know that, right? This right here, the whole, you can tell me anything, I won't tell your parents, and you don't? And then I don't have access to the records of my child? What if something goes wrong? Say something goes wrong, my child hits a coma, and they done told me I don't have access. Now I'm gonna be left in the dark confused. I'm like, what's wrong with my child? Oh, well, your child doesn't want us to give you access. Excuse me? Excuse me? No. We're not playing that game. We're not playing that game. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode right here. What did you guys think? How crazy is all of this, right? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out drop a video. Also, as a quick reminder, tonight I will be live streaming at 7 p.m. EST. That's Eastern Standard Time. Whatever that is for you, come on through and hang out with the crew, all right? I didn't mean to rhyme. That kind of just happened. But come through, hang out. We're going to have some fun together. We had fun last week. I had fun with y'all as well. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Come on through and let's have fun. So with that being said, you already know who it is. It's Sang.